It's me, Slobby Robby, your mom's favorite hobby, and this is episode 1 of Slobby Seconds. Salute to all my slobsters for watching. Tonight's show is super extra special. Our featured guest is an all-time great cultural and historic icon of style and fashion. This dude essentially popularized and pioneered street fashion as we know it today. The one, the only, DMC, Daryl Mack of Run DMC. After that is our counterculture segment where we're gonna play a little game called Peeve or Steez. But first, as always, we start with Slobby 7, where I go off on 7 slobby subjects in 70 seconds. All right, let's go. All right, I know y'all want to see my interview with DMC, but before that, we like to play a little game called Slobby 7, where I go off on 7 slobby subjects in 70 seconds. Starting with number 1, right now. Okay, coronavirus. Woo! The ultimate I told you so, man. There's some people who we don't mind if they die, like old Orange Face, and there's some people who we hope don't die, like our parents and Bernie. Masks aren't fashion, and y'all need to chill. No orgies, no parties, no cake stands. Get out of here. Joe Exotic, my man. That dude, I'll say one thing, he's got wardrobe for days. I flex, I appreciate the drip. I appreciate the jacket, the paramedics jacket. And I tell you one thing, I'm never eating at Baskin Robbins ever again. Instagram challenges, stop challenging me to challenges. The last thing I need right now during the apocalypse is a challenge. Please. Drake's baby, oh shit. I can't decide if he's ugly or cute, but at this point, I think it's very Drake of him to hide him until he was nice and pretty and camera ready. TikTok is not for white families. I'll just say that. That's not what the app was created for, was you and your white family. April Fools, we missed out on April Fools. I was gonna put shit on my hands and scare my son. I was gonna put pudding on my hands. Animal Crossing? I don't even know what the fuck Animal Crossing is. I've never played it. All right, coming up, we got my interview with DMC, and after that, we got my little man Brody skating around in here, the youngest pro skater in the world. So get ready to rumble. King!
What's happening?
What's up, man?
What's happening? What's going on?
How's everything up there in the NYC, man?
It's cool. Very quiet.
Okay.
Very quiet. It's, you know, look. It feels like I live. It feels like I live in South Carolina somewhere.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
that's...
Like down south somewhere.
Have you ever seen anything like that in New York in your
No,
life?
I haven't. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Even with 9/11, there were still people out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's nobody outside.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yo, you know, it's a huge pleasure and honor to have a conversation with you. As far as I'm concerned, personally, you're like a huge influence, and you know, your personal, you know, my personal style, and I'm sure millions of others has been directly reflected by you over the years. So thank you.
I see you got the Ultra Goliaths on,
bro. I have 12 different colors.
Those are nice. I love that.
I got
you
the
got
yellow
flavors.
ones.
You got the different flavor. I'm strictly black. The black frames.
I know.
Straight up, yeah. But those are hot. Those are nice. Didn't Harry Carey, the announcer for the Cubs, wear them?
Yeah, you know, he
wore the black ones, right?
He wore the black ones among a lot of other really famous frames, you know.
Yeah, right, I saw him with them on one day, and I was like, whoa, that's hot.
Yeah, he's the man, you know.
I guess he probably started wearing them before I did.
That's a really good question, man.
Right? I think he might have.
It's that little extra pop.
Yeah, for sure. It stands out. But those, though, I started wearing those by mistake. Downtown LA, right in front of City Hall, they used to, once a week, in the summertime, LA used to have these live concerts. So this was 85, Run DMC was starting to get a buzz. We performed there. So we was new to the whole show business thing. Like, we wasn't into roping people off and going into the VIP area and having bodyguards. So we showed up for the show. We did our show, and we got off a stage, and we call ourselves walking through the crowd. To get back to the hotel, we should have never did that, because it was like, what, about 5,000 people started chasing after us. Oh. So I had the glasses, the frames from the King of Rock album cover. if you look at the King of Rock album cover, those were my original flames.
Yeah.
And at that time, Leo Cohen was our road manager. Big shout out to Leo. So we just started running. It was me, Leo, Jay, and Run. We just started running. So we take off running. Jay was in the front, Run was second. I was third, and Leo was right behind me. While I was running, my glasses fell off.
No!
So as I turn around to pick them up, Leo comes in full stride and he steps on them.
Oh!
So I go to pick up the pieces. He says, no, leave them. Let's keep running. So we keep running. We make it back to the hotel. So without my glasses, I can't see nothing. So we went to a place called LA Works.
Yeah.
And we walked in the LA Works in downtown LA. And as soon as I walked in, I saw the black Ultra Goliaths just standing out bigger and badder than everything in there. I was like, Leo, I want those. So he pulled his credit card out. He got those. And that's how the Ultra Goliaths, the big black frames, started with DMC.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That
all because of Los Angeles.
And you know, one of the characters from Ocean's 11, the old Jewish dude at the end.
Yes, he did. Yes, I noticed that. Yep.
So it's you, me, and him, and Harry Carey.
It's a cool thing, but truth be told, Run DMC, we didn't start the fashion thing. We got our look from what the boys and girls in New York City were already wearing. The tracksuits came from the breakdancers.
Yep.
The leather, the Godfather hats, that came from the hustlers and the pimps and the pushers and stuff like that. But one thing about the young people who started hip hop, we wanted to stand out, we wanted to be noticed, but at the same time, in addition to wearing, you know, the way we were dressing, we wanted people to look at us as something greater than we actually were, not knowing we was going to change fashion, music, style, and all of that. You know, we were young people, but we had high expectations of ourselves. And, you know, the typical rapper or the typical DJ, MC, breakdancer, or graffiti writer, at that time, we were young. Most of us was no older than 21 years old.
Oof.
But we were these young kids creating style and language, art and music and sound, just because we had a desire to show the world that there was something good in all of us.
Yeah, you guys were sort of like not only the ambassadors of like New York street culture to the rest of the world, but also sort of the first rock star rap group, you know, sort of the Beatles, how the Beatles met hip hop.
Oh, for sure. And the reason why I wanted to be the king of rock, when I was growing up, I didn't have a music when I was younger, because you got to remember Al Green, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, for example. That's when my mother and father were still young. So that was their music. They were still cooling.
Yeah.
So I'm a kid. I'm, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I didn't have a music because all I cared about was comic books, Godzilla movies, Fred Flintstone, I Dream of Jeannie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was that kid. So, but it was 70s rock radio. You know, they would play the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Harry Chapin and Jim Croce and Joan Jett, Joni Mitchell. They was playing all of these rock and folk rock songs, which later became the same records of vinyl and the DJ crates, along with James Brown, along with the R&B records. So when I was a younger kid, there was just something about the rock sound. The drums and the guitar was always loud.
Yeah.
For me, disco was kind of soft, and R&B was kind of too mellow. It was just something about the sounds of rock. So when I started making my rap records, my vision, just a stupid little kid thing, was I wanted to be the king of rock. But the reason why I bring this up is we really didn't do anything great. Like, we didn't sit around and say, we're going to put rock with rap and become innovators and pioneers. In Grandmaster Flash crate, in Kool Herc's crate, in DJ Charlie Chase's crate, Grand Wizard Theodore, and all of the DJs' crates of records before Rapper's Delight as a recorded rap song came out, rock songs was in there. So when we started making our records, we just wanted to do something different, true, but at the same time, more people would look at you if you play a loud rock drum and a loud crazy ass guitar. Because it was just so loud and violent. And once people looked at us, they would see the clothes that we was rocking. So even though it was rock music, they would acknowledge that, yo, these guys are cool. I could relate to these guys. So it wasn't a thing where we sat out and decided to be ambassadors of style and music. It was a natural thing.
Right, which is the way it should be.
Yep, it was organic. You know
So
what I'm saying?
speaking of being a kid, when was the first time, I remember being into toys and comics, and I know kids my age started caring about girls and sneakers, but me personally, I'm still collecting toys. Like, I'm still that kid. When was the first time you really cared about style or like clothing or, that kind of
that's a good question. It wasn't until we put Jam Master Jay in the group. There's a couple of pictures out there of Run DMC when we did promo. When me and Run made It's Like That and Circum C's, we didn't have a DJ yet. We didn't think that far ahead. Our thing was to make the record, and Mr. Magic is gonna play your record on Friday and Saturday night. Because remember, hip hop was only Friday and Saturday night. So when we made It's Like That and Circum C's, there's a couple of pictures of us out there. Me and Run was all over the place. I actually started wearing Pumas when we first came out.
No!
I was wearing Pumas. Yeah, there's about 1 or 2 pictures, really hard to find. I was wearing Pumas, and Run was wearing his shell toes. We was all over the place. But it wasn't until after It's Like That and Circum C's got hot, we needed a DJ. So we put Jam Master Jay in the group. So when we went to Jay's house to pick Jay up, he comes out his front door. He had the big 4-speaker JVC. Remember the big 4-speaker 2-cassette JVC? Oh, yeah. He had the Adidas shell toes on with no laces in them. He had the black Lees on. He had the remember back in the days they had the BVD nylons. It was the nylons. It was a nylon underwear and a nylon undershirt. It was if you buy red, you get a red top, red bottom. He had that on. He had the black Adidas 3-stripe Adidas jacket on, and he had the Godfather hat on. So when Jay came out his front door, that's what me and Run looked and said, yo, that's going to be our look. So it was because of Jam Master Jay. And now here's what's funny. The way Run DMC looked to y'all all of those years, that's how Jam Master Jay and DJ Hurricane of the Beastie Boys, that's how they were dressing in high school.
Wow.
So yeah, they was walking the halls of Andrew Jackson High School with that Run DMC look. So when we put Jam Master Jay in the group, he gave us our style and our flavor.
Okay. Well, I always thought DJ Hurricane, had a similar style to you guys, and it always came off as real authentic, even with his DJing style and like the rock that he was mixing in.
And that's why he fit in with the Beastie Boys so perfectly. Dr. Dre of Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, Your MTV Raps fame, was the Beastie Boys' original DJ. And he did the first couple of shows with the Beasties, but then they started Yo MTV Raps. So he left the road. He left the Raising Hell tour. And at that time, to do MTV, and DJ Hurricane was our bodyguard. So the Beasties needed a DJ, and Jay said, yo, why don't you just let DJ Hurricane be a DJ? He got our fly, he knows the routine, he got the style, and that's how that all came together. But that's why I said when we first started it, Jam Master Jay and Hurricane were dressing like that already. The breakdancers were dressing like that already. The graffiti writers and everybody were dressing. The greatest thing Run DMC did, I gave exactly what we did when on the record My Adidas. When I said we took the beat from the street and put it on TV, we just happened to be the first people to be seen globally because of MTV. MTV put our style, flavor, and sound in everybody's living room.
Yeah, and it was sort of like the breaking of the internet and social media. Like
for sure.
When music videos came out, someone like me was able to connect and be like,
"Wow, say, yo, who's this? Who's that? Look at this, look at that." Yeah, we definitely Run DMC been breaking the internet.
You broke my speakers in my old Land Cruiser too.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, do you still have any of your old gear from back then, or all of it, or do you have a lot of that stuff still?
It's a shame. It's a bad damn shame. Me and Run, we have nothing. You understand? We were kids. We didn't care.
Yeah.
We didn't think there was any value to it. We just wanted to rock. We just wanted to get on stage and MC. We say, I know Jam Master Jay, he has some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was smart enough, to keep the leather suit, to keep the first Adidas, to keep his first hat. The only thing that I had was my original pair of Ultra Goliaths, but those are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah. But we do, we didn't care about. I mean, I didn't say backstage passes. I didn't say posters. I mean, I got people coming up to me all over the world when I travel. Yo, where'd you get that? Yo, this is when you came to Germany in 1986. Yo, this is the Spectrum in Philly. This is the LA Coliseum from the Fresh Fest tour. Like we didn't see no value in the things we had. We were just happy to represent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay, like me, even I collected all this Nike stuff from the late 90s and I kept all this stuff when I was a kid. And then there were times when I moved and I donated all these old Nike boxes and really older Jordans and things that I know now in my business that are like, even the boxes are worth money.
I know, yeah, worth money, yeah. You didn't know at the time you had valuable collectibles and you damn near had a museum. Like you was preserving history, man.
I mean, mixtapes, bro. I had Tony Touch's first mixtape.
Wow.
I had all these old New York mixtapes because my boy would bring them back from New York, and I sold them to like the little record store here for $1.
Wow.
Because I thought a tape would never come back, bro. I thought tapes were done.
You thought they were over, right? Vinyl's even making a slow comeback right now.
Oh, bro.
Big time.
Vinyl. We sell vinyl like crazy. And
it's really?
Not even to people to play. They just have it on their shelves like art.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. A piece of history.
How did your why Adidas? I know it was funny that you said that you used to wear Puma, and that's like mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
What do you think it was about Adidas, itself as an entity that was so attractive to like people like you and New Yorkers and the culture?
Because the shell toe, if you take care of it, it lasts forever. So if you had one pair, if you took the toothbrush and soap to it and you didn't play basketball and scuff them up, you could actually rock those. We could have the shell toes looking brand new for 2 to 3 years if you took care of them. So for us, it was a necessity thing. You know what I'm saying? And plus, it was just something cooler to always have the whole white leather sneaker with just like if you wore red, you just got the red stripes. If you wore blue, you got the blue stripes. You wore light blue. And for us, the whole thing with the reason why we didn't put the laces in, a lot of people thought it was just because of the jail. The inmates don't get shoestrings in jail because they could commit suicide or strangle somebody.
Right.
But the reason why we didn't put the shell toes in, when we would go to the sneaker store and get a new pair, you didn't want to waste no time lacing them up. You just want to put them on, throw the old ones in the box, tell Mr. Lee, he was the Chinese guy in the hood. Mr. Lee, throw these away, and you just want to walk out. There was no time not to be flamboyant. So for us, it was just a thing of we didn't want to waste time lacing them up.
How do you keep the shell toe staying on the foot when they're not laced? I always wondered that.
The secret was, and after 8 years, we had to stop doing it. That's why we put laces in. The secret was you got to buy them a size smaller.
Okay.
But if you do that for 2 years straight, I started wondering why my feet always hurting. You know what I'm saying? Why is my toes black and blue? That's because I was wearing a 10 and a half when I was supposed to be wearing 11. So then I just had to suck it up. And what I did though, I started wearing, in addition to the Superstar, I started wearing the pro models, the high tops. So with the high top pro models, you have to lace them up. But if you look at Run DMC, in the early years, we wore the fat laces. We started with the fat laces, and then during the Raising Hell tour, especially when Adidas song came out, Adidas was sending us truckloads of sneakers. So, but I wasn't the guy that would wear it one time and then put the new ones on. I would wear my the shell toes I started the tour with in April. I would still have till like August. I wouldn't throw them away. I would bring them home. The kids in my neighborhood would wait for us to come home because there was this tree in Hollis where we would always put a box or bag of brand new sneakers for the kids in the neighborhood.
Wow. And so were you able to just ask them for stuff like, yo, send us some suits in this color?
Yeah. It got to a point where they were sending us so much stuff, we had to tell them stop.
Oh.
I mean, imagine that. It was like, yo, stop. They would send us crates. And the cool thing about it was we would service everybody on the tour. We make sure Beastie Boys got stuff. Houdini would get stuff, LL would get stuff, the bus drivers would get stuff, the light and the sound men would get stuff, even the people that we would meet at the different venues. You know what I'm saying? The stage crew of Chicago would get stuff. So we was very generous with us, and it got to the point where we had to tell Adidas, no, only send me stuff when I ask for it, because I had no way to put all this stuff.
We've gotten stuff that was tour, Run DMC, Road Crew, Stage Crew, Chicago. You know, we've gotten a lot of that kind of stuff.
Exactly, so it was amazing just to start with a record, and then to, you know, for Run DMC and Adidas and the culture of hip hop to do what we did for sneaker culture and fashion too. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
I mean, that was the first famous sneaker before Air Jordans, you know? That was like,
oh, for sure,
the first time that sneakers mattered. And I remember out here on the West Coast, we had, of course, fat laces. We didn't really have no laces. Right. But I used to buy them actually a size bigger and then do that fold over sock and put it in.
Oh,
and then, years later, I heard the Beastie Boys call it a jelly roll. And then I realized I wasn't alone in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had a lot in common without even knowing it.
Well, what do you think about Adidas now? Like, you know, what it's become as a brand, and are you a fan of the newer shoes like Yeezy and stuff like that, or have you sort of lost interest? Where do you stand on Adidas?
I mean, I love Adidas, the apparel. I'm not a Yeezy fan though.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I'm not a, you know, I'm the shape and look of them. It's something that's not cool to me. You know what I'm saying? More power to the people though. I am not a Yeezy fan. I love what Adidas is doing though, but you know, at the same time, they need to write the Michael Jordan check because we put them in an area that they wasn't in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying Run DMC. I'm talking about hip hop and the culture. We put them in an area that sealed their fate forever. Yeah. You know, they couldn't, there's no way they can't spend $300 million on a marketing plan to gain the position that they're in. You know what I'm saying? So of course with or without me being DMC, I'm always going to be an Adidas fan. It was just something that was attracted to me. Although one time I did put on some Air Force Ones.
Oh, my man, me too.
Yeah, I was wrong. I didn't think I was wrong. This was about maybe, this is when Nelly had put out the song Air Force Ones and Jay-Z had made it all popular. So I was on Broadway in the city, and I had on a blue shirt with some blue jeans. So of course I needed some white shell toes with the blue stripe, not the black stripe, the blue stripe. So I go in the Foot Locker, and I walk in there, and I'm like, yo, I need a pair of shell toes with the blue stripes, dark blue stripe. They go, DMC, we don't have them. We got the shell toes with the black stripe, or we got the white on whites. But over on the podium over there, sitting on the podium spinning in all this glory, was a pair of white Air Force Ones with the blue swoosh. So I'm looking at it, right? And I'm like, all right, you know, it's like, I know I'm supposed to only wear Adidas, but I don't have to. And especially for me, it was a fashion need. So I'm like, yo, Nelly rock them, Jay-Z rock them. Yo, this is, you know, I'm cool. This is, you know, I'm down DMC. Yeah. They're going to love me for putting them on. So I put them on, right? And I walk out the store. I get about 5 steps from the store. The bus drivers start beating their horns at me and cursing me out. Yo, D, what's up?
You're a traitor.
So I'm looking, I brush it off. I walk to the corner. I get to the corner. 2 policemen roll up on me. Boop, boop. Yo, DMC, and they point down at my feet. So I'm thinking, yo, this can't be serious. So I get to the corner of Broadway and Houston, right at the corner of Broadway and Houston, the big garbage truck pulls up on me, and the dudes are just going into me. So I run back down to the Foot Locker on Broadway, Broadway and Astor Place. There used to be a Foot Locker there. I think it's still there. So I run back in there. I take the Air Force Ones. I throw them up on the counter, and I say, yo, just give me the white on whites. And I put the white on white shell toes on, right? I put the white on white shell toes on, and ever since that day, I've never wore any other sneaker.
Oh,
crazy,
no.
Right?
You made a mistake.
A big mistake. It was, but the people let me know. They was like, yo, D, man, so I'm, you know, from LA to Boston, especially Detroit and to Japan, all the way to Japan and Europe and Germany. I cannot because it's sacred. So I'm stuck with Adidas for life.
Hey, you got to be true. You got
exactly. No, they taught me be true. Yeah, they was like, we're not having you. We're not looking at you in any other thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I can't put on easy.
Yeah, well, right, exactly.
But with strength, I would get, mobbed.
Yeah, you get, exactly. For real.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, Adidas got it going on, man.
Well, but they need, you're right though. Adidas needs to pay some kind of like full-blown tribute. I know they've done anniversary releases.
Yeah, we've done campaigns with them, but they need to write the Michael Jordan check and call the shell toe the Run DMC superstar sneaker and keep it. Look, I'm in the airport, right? I'm sitting there waiting for a plane, and this white guy, about maybe 56, 57 years old, businessman looking, doctor, lawyer type guy. He comes over to me and he got his daughter with him, right? So the daughter's probably like 4 or 5 years old, and she got on the cutest pair of shell toes, right? But the daughter is crying. The daughter's, So he comes over to me, yo, Mr. DMC, man, I just want to tell you, man, King of Rock album raising. He starts giving me his whole history with me. His daughter's crying. He turns to her and says, shut up. Didn't I tell you to be quiet? So he starts talking to me, this and that. So she crying, and he's trying to tell this little 4-year-old girl she don't know who this black man is. He's trying to tell her, she crying, and he said, be quiet. And he just turns to, it's the coolest thing, he turns to and says, look, even my daughter, she don't even understand why she got so. And then he says to me, she's going to wear them. Her kids is going to wear them. Her kids is going to wear them. Shows he's going all in. But I'm just sitting there wide eye open looking at this man harass his little daughter just to tell DMC how he's down with me in Adidas. It was cute and beautiful, but it was like, he was like, be quiet. Didn't I tell you to stop crying?
Whoa, the power of sneakers.
How crazy is that?
Hey, I think you're right though, man. That is, you literally put that shoe on the map for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, so, I mean, I got a little rap. Me and my Adidas made history. What we've done for the culture's no mystery. Everybody's like, whoa, it's crazy.
Adidas, and then, cut the check. Cut the
check for sure.
Cut the Michael Jordan check. Adidas, cut the check.
For real, yep.
Give this man what he deserves. Hey, dude, I really appreciate you so much, man, and much respect, and it was truly an honor, and I don't think I've ever said that to anyone before.
No, thank you. I'm glad I finally get to meet you. Hopefully next time, it's going to be in person.
Yes, sir. Let's come on season 2, and we'll make sure you get that Adidas due that you need.
No, I'm definitely coming to Tucson, man. I got to come see the store. I got to come walk in them doors.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. We're going to send you a big old Generation Cool package, and hang tight during this time.
All right, man. Keep going on. Keep doing your thing. Generation Cool, because generation rules.
Thank you, sir. Peace.
Peace out.
We are right here at the Generation Cool Trade Counter. For our counterculture segment, we're going to play our new favorite game, Peeve or Steez. I got 2 guests here tonight. I've got Brody, the youngest professional skateboarder in the entire world. And I got my man Cash Swap Tony from Phoenix, longtime vintage dealer to GC. And frankly, we couldn't get anyone else because everyone else had Rona. We're going to be looking at people, items, subjects, styles, and we're going to decide if that's a pet peeve or a Steez. All right, first item, Vans. That's a big no for me, bro. You like Vans? Say no. Say no to Vans. You know what Nancy Reagan said, right? Say no to Vans. All right, me personally, not a big fan of Vans. Not a Van fan. Not in any way. Hell no, fam. Not a Van fan. It's the equivalent of basically Abercrombie and Fitch on your feet. We're going to go ahead and say peeve for you. Say Steez. Steez! All right, next item. Ripped jeans. Peeve or steez? Ripped jeans for me is a big peeve. I know I'm gonna sound like a grumpy old man by peeving everything here, but it's a huge peeve for me. I think if you're in the 80s and you're Paula Abdul and you're a woman and you have a nice tan and nicely shaved legs, ripped jeans are perfectly okay. I think if you are a 2017 boy with Yeezys, ripped jeans are burnt. Peeve or steez, ripped jeans?
Steez.
Nope. Talk louder.
Talk. Steez. Too much. I'm gonna go with peeve.
Okay, I'm looking at a picture of Travis Scott Nikes. I'm not into the brown, I'm not into the ugliness, I'm not into like the faux like army thing. I do like the Cactus Jack 4s. The Dunks for me really are just not my vibe, and the Air Force One is the grossest thing I've ever seen. And I gotta be honest, if you're buying that Travis Scott Air Force One because you think it's aesthetically pleasing, I think you were probably dropped on your head multiple times. And you probably have a fever and a cough and shortness of breath. Travis Scott Nikes, big peeve, no steez. Travis Scott Nikes, peeve, big pet peeve of mine. I really think if it was just a regular release, it would be a regular release. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't, and that's fine. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you right now, those Air Force Ones are garbage.
I'm gonna disagree.
I think people are only buying them because of his name. I don't want to even be the one to have to fucking say that, but I am the one who has to say that. And I'm saying it. Peeve or steez? Travis Nikes, bro. Travis's in general.
Steez.
Travis Scott's in general, Nike releases are steez for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
Because Travis Scott is Travis Scott.
Exactly my point. That's exactly my point. So who cares? So if he's not Travis Scott, then what do you think about the shoes?
There's still a steez.
Oh, Lord. Oh, what up? We're filming? All right, well, I guess that's a wrap on Slobby Seconds, episode 1. Big shout out to DMC. That was definitely one of the coolest conversations I've ever had in my life. That Air Force One story was insane. Shout out to Lil Brody for coming on and holding it down and being a highly influential young influencer. And, we're going to call it a day, and I'm going to tell you all to get the fuck out of my shop for now. It's been a long night, and we're going to say peace, and I'm going to see y'all after the virus.